proceeds.
Most classic rugby blood stop that exists on the field. Little cotton swab up the nose.
You're good.
I think that's the youngster Freda Tofuna. What a start she's had during international rugby career. She's been everywhere.
Clear gap, okay? Clear gap between the hookers.
Of course, Lindenwood, one of those really strong university programs.
Show me your shoulder, okay?
And lots of action for these fans to enjoy. As I mentioned, normally watching Gridiron, supporting the Red Blacks, and now it's the gold and the red, white, and blues.
Set!
Scrum, maybe a hint of a feed, but such a solid platform from left to right. And they're going to use the boot. It's come off the side of the boot. Has it gone straight into touch? Yes, it has. You look at our assistant official. So just a good old-fashioned slice.
Yeah, missed kick on that one. The Australian line was set really flat, so they knew the kick was coming. And they likely had a good opportunity had it went downfield a little bit more down that 15-meter channel.
We did see the Australians working on the 50-22 option. That's when you kick from your own half and roll it into the options 22 in their team run.
Let it go now. She's on the ground.
Players are off their feet, so they have to let go. Not able to get it out. Good go forward from the USA. Tupuafu again, fairly deep these passes. There's a big carry from Hangatau. It's her 11th cap. That's her job for this team, is carrying the mail hard and heavy. Really deep release, and it's allowing the Aussies to come up. Janine Getaval gets really her first touch with the Knoxville Minx. Great chop tackles there. And from the hooker, Talakai. Well, credit these athletes. They're playing with great pace, keeping that ball alive. Again, side-to-side play for the U.S. Tupuafu thought about a little run for herself.
Turnover's
Nothing
good.
on there, and it's been stolen. Counterattack ball.
Play on.
The right option not able to be executed. Cleaning up the mess is Emily Chancellor. The referee's not happy. They're holding on, and it's a quick tap. Oh, that could be trouble. Quick tap from Mackenzie Hawkins. Smart play from her. Assuming there's an advantage, but I don't see the arm out. So U.S. trundling forward into the Australian half. Only their second foray there. Oh, option of an offload doesn't quite come off. Bobbled, but gathered. Good work from Bella McKenzie in defense, slowing that up. She's a competitor, fierce. Filling in at scrum half is Kate Benson. Nice offload. The U.S. have done that a couple times, keeping the pressure on the Wallaroos defense.
No advantage. We'll go back.
The referee's going to come back for the original penalty. Glenn Zusman's going to come all the way back.
Thank you.
I think it's not 10 at the quick tap.
Not 10.
It was, and I liked the option from Mackenzie Hawkins there. USA had possession before this, but they weren't getting any go forward, and she just saw the opportunity to get her team going forward, and she managed to do so.
Let's go.
But we've come all the way back for the advantage because of that initial penalty.
So yeah, when Hawkins tapped that ball quickly, as is her right, the Australian players sort of impeded. So still possession U.S. They're going to go to the sideline, and they're going to work their set piece. Although he's mishit. Oh, just found touch there. Hawkins would say that was intentional.
Gives a little smile of relief. But this is a great attacking opportunity for the U.S. down in the Australian 22.
One receiver, Australia. One receiver. Back up.
So Catherine Treader hits her target. It's come out straight away. No interception this time. It's a good midfield hit up.
Happy? Love it?
A little bit of indecision from Tukuafu. And she's lost it again. Waller was looking to counter. Yeah, they'll keep it in hand for the moment. I think they knew they had. It's going to be a knock-on against Australia. U.S. applauding that and know they've got a glorious opportunity 10 meters out.
It's the farthest they've been down in Australia's end so far. But fatigue starting to settle in. She's just looking up, looking at her opportunity before the ball's in the hand. Which we've all done, but that hurts inside your own 10-meter. And this is the best attacking opportunity U.S. has had. The winger's tucked herself behind the scrum, leaving her right.
Those six handing errors very much keeping the USA in this matchup. And the third visit.
Stand up.
22. We're going to reset this.
Already we're getting pressure from the hookers. We need you to stay up, hold your weight. Okay? I'm not ready.
So a little insight for you. The referee very much in charge here. They've had a meeting before the match, and then the referee gives them commands as they go down to what they're allowed to do. They all know, and they all try and stretch the limit. Let's listen in on Julianne Zusman here as she gives the commands.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
It is.
And the winger's put herself back on the right side. I love the little games that she's playing with the opposite winger here.
Once again, Morgan's done her job and tied up her opposite number, killing the USA tack for the moment, but not before this woman gets her hands on it. Freda Tafuna takes him to 5 meters out.
Advantage.
Counter ruck comes in from U.S., but it's in the side. Advantage to the U.S.
Back up,
they can risk their hand. 4 meters to go.
You have advantage, USA. Step back.
Good pick with her hands on it. Katie Benson, she ships it wide. A little bit of support from Taufu. 2 meters out now.
Advantage, high tackle.
50-50 ball, still a high tackle. Jetavau didn't really want that. She's done well to keep fighting and driving those legs. Just a meter out now. The short ball. Credit the Wallaroos, they get under that. Morgan, part of that defense, has been spilled forward.
Time off.
Gonna have a little listen here. Time off. Referee's gonna have a chat with her assistant official.
I was unsighted on the ground here.
I have grounding.
Okay.
The
Let's check
assistant
it.
official feels she may have grounding, so we're gonna have a TMO.
We'll check with the TMO. We
Okay.
have a grounding here. We're just checking if there was a double movement in the breakdown. If not, we'll go back to an advantage.
So there we go, Giselle. That's the question that's been asked. Was there a double movement? The assistant official is clear there is a grounding, so she's happy with the try. Now they're gonna have a look to make sure there was no infraction.
That's right. There's a lot of Australian defenders on top of the player, the U.S. player who touched it down. If it's all in one action, it's okay, and the grounding is good.
Yeah, one of your options as a ball carrier is to reach out and score. The referees are looking at themselves on the big screen, but we do have a TMO. That is Andrew Hosey, the Canadian. He's been a very busy boy with Major League Rugby this year. He's had some big calls to make and has got almost everyone bang on.
I have eye grounding
this kind of pressure.
by the blue player. One
ear.
elbow was down. The grounding was on the first stretch.
Just checking to see.
The grounding was good on the first stretch. You may award the try.
So her hips were on the ground. She reached out to score the try.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So the referees. The feedback came back from Andrew Hosey, our TMO. He said yes, she's hit the ground, but then reached out to score. Totally legal, and USA are back in the game.
And if you got the chance to see it live, it was a beautiful long reach. Look at the 3-4 defenders on her, and it's all one reach at the tip of the fingers.
All you have to do is touch that line. So USA, the immediate response, their third visit to the 22. That will also give Mackenzie Hawkins a chance to add 2 extras. Member of the Colorado Grey Wolves. That was a good shot. Just get that ball up on a tee. We'll hit it on the point. Is that something you know a little bit about? she looking to do here from the really the wrong sideline from her as a right footer?
You can see the focus. She's cueing in on a target over there. She's got to give it a lot of power to get over, but she's done almost enough to get over the crossbar. Those are the toughest when you get into that 5-meter channel. But USA will be really happy with that response.
If you missed it, it's my bad.
Possession hasn't gone their way, but they've fought back and they worked really hard to get in there and get those points down.
So she's not able to convert the try by Evelyn Aschenbrucker. The San Diego Surfer gets USA's first score here. More conventional kick. Bobbled. Again, lots of competition on the ground, but USA have it. They'll be feeling much better about themselves.
We're in front of the 22.
Last time these two teams played was back in Auckland in June of 22. USA won that one 16 points to 14. Stop and go doesn't quite come off, but possession for Australia. Thinking about using the left foot, but it's blocked. Good hit, baby, from the sideline, you bet it. Nice carry and offload from Cheatham. They've got numbers, she's created it. Can they capitalize? Wallaroos in full flight. Coming off that wing, bouncing off the tacklers.
Back!
Outstanding explosive play from the Australian team. Flat ball. Again, really good footwork. Hours spent on the Gold Coast training with their clubs.
Hold! Back!
Paying off right now as they're finding some holes in this American defense. 15 meters out. There's a little bit of hitch kick. But met immediately by a big tackle. Short ball. Again is Cheatham. She does well. She started this whole movement with the offload. Looking to go around the corner. Here's McKenzie. She offloads right through the middle. Outstanding response from the Wallaroos. And they're in under the poles.
And it's Ava Carpani again. Australia worked themselves down the entire field. It's a great team try. Every player catching that ball is already on the move, already running at pace. And it's making the defenders work so much harder to keep up, to anticipate where the tackle is going to be. Look at the Bosch from the winger there.
Well, great carry there. Bella McKenzie. She raced Bolton Barrett as her favorite player because he likes to attack the line and he runs. Really good rugby from both sides here. Fakani getting her brace. Looking to add 2 more. Bit of running repairs behind the posts. Nice controlled strike. And the extras are good. So Australia up 19 points to 5. Just under. Well, Pacific 4-23 is underway. Round 2. Match number 3. Great rugby from both teams. Kick goes long. Ship it wide. They're happy to attack. And why not? Nice flat ball. And again, there's numbers out wide. The U.S. are a little guilty of being very narrow in defense. 2 or 3 occasions, my co-commentator has seen options in space and gesticulating.
Okay.
Because then that sometimes happens when you get tired, as does that.
It does, but that's also the benefit of kicking it down the field, playing that territory game. The fatigue sets in and drop balls happen, and that's just gained Australia another 40 meters down the field, back into the USA end.
Well, tired bodies on both sides, but I think it's maybe just the element of the Americans a little slower to pick themselves up off the turf and get in defensive position. See, all While the
Shoulder, please.
Australian backs are out wide there, all lurking around. There's no one on the blind side.
Set! 1, 2, ready!
Lane Morgan introduces. It goes down in front. Referee's going to call a penalty. And that will be another opportunity kick to the corner for Bella McKenzie, and the tired forward just saying, take your time.
Well, so much of this game has been won up front so far, in the lineouts, in the scrums, really just controlling it. These Australian forwards have worked really hard so far.
It's very nice for the fresh number 10 to be sprinting in to take a quick penalty as the tight five are on their knees.
But once again, Australia with a 5-meter
Take a step in, thanks.
line out.
Make sure your team holds the space, okay?
7 in the line out. Great shot there. First job is to hit the target. And they've done that. They bring it down. 7 meters to go. The legs are pumping. I wonder if we'll see any players arrive to help, because it stopped momentarily. The Americans did well, but they crowd to the side, still moving forward. Zusman's looking for the ball, and she's asking the Wallaroos to use the ball. So if they go again and get stopped, there will be a turnover. They go again and score! Great power, but Zusman's going to have a look to make sure it was grounded. All popped up a little bit awkwardly, but I think it's probably good.
Posey, we're going to check this try. My on-field decision is try, but we're going to check if you have conclusive evidence to prove a knock-on.
Yeah, good work from the referee.
Correct.
And again, going for third time's the charm on this rolling maul. The referee asked them to use it, so she peeled off the back there.
Arm. Stay connected. That's what she has to do. Stay connected to her body. I think that's good, Ghislaine.
Her forearm's definitely connected there, and that should be good enough.
Thank you.
The try has been awarded. Lidiana Talakai, the New South Wales Waratah, has her try.
Forward domination right now for the Australian team. Front rows picking off points here for Australia.
Just if you're new to this innovation, in the top left of your screens, the shot clock, new rule for rugby. 90 seconds after a try to make the conversion, and 60 seconds after a penalty. So there will be a shot clock. You Sevens players have got it figured out way quicker than that, eh? 30 seconds?
Yeah, 30 seconds if you get the ball with that much time. Sometimes it's about 3 seconds by the time you get the ball back.
A good strike, but just falls short of the crossbar. But let's have a look at this form out. Great work from the forwards, and they restart twice.
Yeah, USA once again, they get the initial hold and they get them moving back, but Australia does well to keep connected, keep a bit of distance between the USA, which allows Talakai to peel off the back there, and really no defenders in front of her for that last try.
Well, we're into the dying moments, and Australia have had a great response here. Looking to add more. They must be feeling very good about themselves.
Take it back.
Take it back over, so if this one goes straight out, maybe a chance for US to show something. Cleaning up at the back. They kick it back, and that may have been one of the issues in this first half. They've been giving far too much possession to the Wallaroos. They've been comfortable offloading, attacking the spaces, showing and going. Really great skill being shown from the Wallaroos. Morgan chips it wide. Power running through the middle. Thought about the offload. Wisely keeps it. And more pressure on the Americans. Good recognition to get that ball out wide. A really solid team performance. I mean, last week was disappointing for them against the Black Ferns. This one is much better so far. All gelling together, all supporting each other. They got 24 points to show, and they're looking to add more.
And you can see the pace that Australia is running at. The USA defense has literally stopped coming forward other than maybe a single shooter. So Australia just keeps getting
Step
to
back,
run
please.
at them,
Stay.
control the line, control what gaps they want to attack.
Well, phase after phase
Time is yours, Oz.
into the ninth
Time
phase
is yours.
here. That is a clear reflection of quality skills in
Advantage,
greasy hot
too slow.
conditions. They're going to have advantage. This may even mean 3 more points. And the referee's going to award the penalty right in front of the posts. Well, there it is. Not rolling away is the penalty.
Shot called.
And they have decided, they've selected to go for the posts. So they will have a minute to kick this one.
Another good reward for their work. Really controlling this game right now. And they'll go into the change rooms at half pretty happy with themselves, I imagine, and still a bit to clean up. USA, on the other hand, lots to look at, lots to improve going into the second half.
So the kick you want to start a game, and not a bad one to end the game with, right in front. Probably does about 70 to 80% of her goal kicking right in this position. Right foot swings through the ball. Clean strike. And 3 more points as we hit halftime here in Ottawa. Australia up 27 points to 5. An impressive first half effort for them here. Game 3 of the Pacific 4 competition. So frantic stuff. Australia a little bit slow out of the gates, but they got that first one. USA responded, but there was all Australia for the last 20. and resume with their 5th try.
Well, the build up to this try, they started back in their own half and worked downfield. Look at the initial. The 2 forwards running hard forward creates an opening on the outside loads. And everybody from Australia running down the field. The forwards had a few picks, but it's Maya Stewart in the end. Australia doing really well with the combination of the forward work in tight and the backs moving the ball out wide.
And her debut back in 22 against Scotland. Ball's fallen over.
30 seconds.
So the clock will still keep ticking. It's a great test of the rhythm for Cecilia Smith. Nice refereeing too to let her know what a strike. Just drops over the bar. 2 more for Australia. 34 points to 5.
Okay. That's off. Sub. Number 2, HIA. Number 2.
So I think they've assessed, it was Adiana Talakai. It's going to be an HIA. And there was a little bang to the head. And so how HIA works now in international rugby, there's an independent doctor on the sideline, Dr. Gillis, by the looks of it in this case.
I'll let you know.
Who's watching the game, and if he sees any player who takes a knock to the head, absolutely no risk is taken, and that player will be removed and assessed. And the team is allowed to put a substitute in, and obviously another part of the World Rugby player welfare scheme that is trying to minimize any damage.
Okay, thank you.
Player welfare always at the forefront of the game now, making sure that the players are safe
HIA.
and not putting themselves at any further risk.
And it is Tanya Naden, the Brumby, on the field.
Trouble 10. That's fine, play on.
Loose ball again, but U.S. get their hands on it.
Play on. Tackle!
Tackle complete. This is better from the U.S. Oh, nice offload into space up the right-hand side. Just scragged down 5 meters out. Kick and go. 2 meters short now. Arriving, but bumped back unceremoniously. Little white line fever there, but U.S. still have their hands on the ball. Trying to get more bodies back on their feet is the scrum half, Tukuafu. Australia did well to get back. Nice low body position. 3 Wallaroos drive her back. Now they go wide. Ball's in the right arm. No offload coming there. Quick ball. This is excellent. Speed of possession. Arcing around. Nice run. Can she get it down? Referee in great position. She awards the try. Good movement from the USA Women's Eagles. Finding the space. And a great response in this second half. Jenny Detevau doing really well to come off her wing and get that one down.
Really well worked. They gave their forwards a couple opportunities, which created some space out wide for the winger off her wing. Good recognition, good work rate to come off the right side and get herself all the way through the gap. A little work to do still with the Australian defenders, but she manages to touch it down.
So second try on the board for the U.S. Mackenzie Hawkins looking to add the extra 2. Nice strike, beautiful contact. So gets the U.S. total to 12 up against Australia's 34. So we're going to have some subs and
And there's a clock too.
Fresh legs on the field. You can see one of those jerseys is the number 19 of Sarah Naframa. 27-year-old, dying to get involved in this one. That's Bridie O'Gorman on there as well.
I'll let you know.
Monsters will get a bit of a rest.
I'll let you go.
So
Subs
interesting
complete
that it's the Australians making those changes before the Americans. Obviously the Australians having to manage the travel up from Brisbane last week. We were in Ottawa on Canada's east coast, well, eastern Canada. The Women's Eagles have just come up over the border. Easier assembly, although a few of the women have come in from the UK. 2 phases and then they kick again, and it's gone straight to Australian hands. So
You're gonna play on, thanks.
exit strategy, and there's the confidence you can see, the little flip pass from Bella McKenzie. Yeah, nice feet there. They're looking very confident on the ball, are the Wallaroos. Out the back door, all the options being exercised. That one doesn't quite go to hand.
2 knock-ons. First goal, then by Blue. Blue's coming.
Australia looking confident and managing the game really well. With the substitutions, keep in mind that this game potentially has a big impact on the WXV. The top 3 teams out of this tournament will qualify for WXV 1. And Australia really want to be in that top 3 to get the experience against the top teams worldwide. And they've got a big match against Canada next weekend to prepare for, while also getting through this match.
Crouch! Bind!
Next Friday night, 2 more matches here, Pacific 4 up in Ottawa. Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, USA.
Bind.
Australians guilty of breaking the bind, and wisely a quick tap coming from the USA. Nice strong carry there. They really need some go forward here, down 22 points, and they've been penalized.
7.
The experience of this Australia team
Don't do that.
starting to come through. Georgie Paris-Redding getting a little frustrated there,
You're on that side.
getting pushed back another 10
I know, you
meters
gotta work
for
hard there. You got, like,
talking
you were on
back
it and then you
with
lost it.
the ref.
We've got to credit Julianne Zusman, the Canadian referee. Really managed these sides well. Some frustration, as you saw there. She's communicating well. She's setting the limits. And the players are deciding this one. As you see, a bit of a rest for Sagapolo. Jacoby gets on the field. Exeter Chief as well,
Hold the
losing
space, USA.
in that English final to Gloucester. A lot of players on both sides involved in that. All the Canadian girls as well. Off the top ball, the best kind of ball to run. They hit midfield, and they are in free flow right now. Emily Chancellor. Early release. Unselfish play. Great feet. A siding run. A great team drive from Australia. It's textbook, just as you draw it up on the training pitch. And it's Vanya Wong with the 5-pointer.
Well, you know they've practiced that one a few times back home. She hasn't had the opportunity to have the ball in hand that much, but every time you can see there's some spark, you can see the speed and the footwork, and she finally gets a little bit of space, and she knows exactly what to do, slicing through the last 2 defenders with a big smile.
Only 63 kgs, but she can move. Enjoying that one. Cecilia Smith. Again, the ball falls over for us. She's going to have to reset that with 40 seconds to go. It worked last time, so. Here's the kicking tee. The norm in Canadian rugby. And as we're in Canada, we should credit Mr. Don Burgess, the late Don Burgess, for inventing and introducing the kicking tee to the game to save pitches and try and speed up the game. That kick gets Australia over the 40-point mark. Perhaps starting to extinguish any thoughts of a U.S. comeback. Again, they kick long and give up possession, and Australia seem only too happy to get their hands on the ball.
Stay up, stay up. Hold.
Now they go into the pocket. It's partially blocked. That player's onside because it's touched by an American player. Again, looking for the offload. No one there. Good movement. Some strong carries from the U.S., but haven't really been able to turn it into final breakdown of the Wallaroo defense. Again, they're forcing the offloads a bit now, as you'd expect. It's popped loose, and there's space on the sideline. It's a foot race. Going all the way is Maya Stewart looking for her second try. The crowd will cheer on. She dives. Maya Stewart for Australia.
She's catching her breath after a 70-meter run down the field in this heat. The benefactor of a messy ball for the USA finds herself picking it up with no defenders in front of her. USA trying to get the game going for themselves. The little offload attempt, but it just goes to ground, and then it's just messy. And Maya Stewart has herself a 70-meter sprint down the field.
Only then does she smile.
It's a long sprint at that point when you look up and you know you've got that far to go. But she'll be really happy with that. Australia will be really happy with that, and the way this game is going. They are in complete control.
Well, the kicking duties have been handed over to Laurie Kramer there. Joined up with the team here in Canada. She just pushes that one right. But it will be 46 points up for the Wallaroos. Well, they've clearly got their bonus point. More fresh legs on. That's why Smith wasn't taking that conversion. Mare is on.
Let's go.
A few cramps. Mare, the Western Force player, gets a touch here. Just 21 years of age. Nothing worse than cramps in a rugby game. Nice clearing kick. Well, a full 20 minutes to play here, and Ghislaine, if you're catching this American side, how do you approach this? How do you set your goals?
It's all about mentality at this point, the attitude to stay in the fight, despite the scoreline, despite how your body's feeling. It's about pride in what you're doing and the actions you're taking on the field. And it's also about getting experience as a team together. This is the year after the World Cup, so there's not a lot of games to be had. So you have to take advantage of every single one you get and learn from every little breakdown, every little interaction.
Yeah, so many of these players, they're involved in the national competition in the U.S. 8 teams, but very different quality, I feel. A lot of travel, really spread out those teams with a large group playing in the UK. So they're not really together as much as maybe they'd like. And this is when you build that camaraderie, even though it may be in a losing cause with Australia playing some great rugby right now. It would have been interesting had they performed in this way last week against New Zealand.
USA 1-12.
Last week was really one-way traffic for New Zealand, and this week it's really one-way traffic for Australia. But Australia will be really happy. You know that they looked at that video. You know they learned a lot from playing the world champs. they've clearly come out with some intent
Your mark is right here.
and a point to prove
Open the gap,
of where
please.
they stand amongst the world.
The interesting, Australian Rugby Union has that policy of only 5 overseas players.
Thank you.
So they couldn't do what the U.S. are doing, as the men have the same policy in place. They have a 6-week domestic competition. 5 teams playing each other once. Sorry, 6 teams playing each other once. Nice movement, good angles of run. Great interplay. 11-13 and back again. Georgina Fredericks, the vice captain, gets in out wide. Thanks to Vanya Wong.
And nearly the whole team in there to celebrate. The Canadian fans even celebrating. It's a beautiful try. The turnover at the line out. Emily Chancellor gets the ball and gets her team going forward, and then it's the backs that come into action. Little interplay, the little switch, and then she bumps out to the wing and finds herself with more open space. Beautiful free-flowing rugby.
Well, I know you see it on your career on the HSBC World Series of Sevens, but the skills of these young women are fantastic. They play a lot of touch, they play with the men, and it's just outstanding on the ball. Every one of those passes was right where they wanted it, and that's the result, a diving try in the corner.
Yeah, you can see none of those players had to slow down. They didn't have to check their stride. The ball went exactly where they wanted it to. And as a player, those are the tries you love to be part of and you love to watch your teammates be part of.
Kramer given the other sideline this time, perhaps a bit cruel. She's got under that one and they won't quite make it. But it won't matter through the Fredericks try.
We've got a sub coming off.
And we mentioned off the top, Australia hasn't beat the USA in over 2 decades. And here we are with a scoreline of 51-12 for Australia. So this is a big game and a big moment for this team.
Well, Adesanya, the Brisbane player, is on. West Sunnybranks and brothers in her bio. She's been around some great clubs. She'll get a nice 17-minute run here with her team in the ascendancy. So many options. Nice fend there, the big left hand of Maya Stewart. Right in the action, are we? Half gap. Just couldn't get it away. And credit the American defenders. Great grit to steal that ball back. There's no quit in the Eagle women. That was Evelyn Ashenbrook. She's got to try, and she's done all she can up front. The vice captain. We're going to take the territory and the lineup.
Sub.
And we're going to have more
6.
fresh legs on. We've already seen Benson have a breather.
Sub.
Tafuna, having earned her first cap, will get a breather. A great first half hour from her.
Okay, time's on.
So, more Australian possession. Looking to work the give and go. This time it doesn't come off. Nice counter ruck. And yeah, great effort there on the wing from Getovo. That's the kind of no quit you want to see if you're the American coach. And again, good line speed from the Americans. Intercept looming, doesn't quite go to hands. This will be interesting. I think it was a fair attempt at the ball. I don't think there's a need for a card here.
Just the penalty on this one.
Not in a realistic position.
Oh, interesting decision here, but it's a bit of a looping pass midfield. What'd you see?
She's got both hands up. Kind of connects with her forearm, so maybe not exactly how you're going to catch, but a really good effort, and that's the attitude. That's back-to-back good efforts from the USA.
Sub. 15. Oz 15. Sub.
So Lloyd Kramer's going to get a breather.
15 sub.
A bit of rejigging the backfield.
Sub's complete. Okay.
Also on the field is Jazzy Hiruai.
Time's on.
Auckland born, but very much proud Sydney girl from the Sydney Two Blues Club.
Wait, just wait.
Aussie lineout continues where it started this match, just dominating. A little too much time for them to make those plays midfield. Now they're going, look like the spiral bomb might be attempted. She didn't quite get a hold of it. It's going to work fairly well. The Americans are pinned back.
But look at the Australian defense. Up together. And their line is perfectly set.
Back up.
Well, some fresh legs on for the U.S.
Tackle!
Partially blocked again. The kicking game will be examined, I think, for the Eagles.
Sorry.
Good support again from those forwards. So many of them have worked hard. Really, in the first half, it was their job
Feels good. No.
to get those 4 tries, and they did it well. And now the backs are having a bit of a free-for-all out there. Australian players weren't on their feet as they arrived.
Don't get lazy. Come on, go.
Yeah, I'm happy. Not straight.
That ball's not straight.
Captain,
But
option.
this is Test Rugby, and a great moment for Mona Tupuo. Her first cap as EPA Lady Razorback. Congratulations to her.
So time off. We're new water
All
break
her
now.
coaches.
Okay.
Maybe not the results she wants to be a part of, but
water break now. Okay,
a
2
big
minutes.
moment. And the players are going to
this is
take
your
a
water break.
well-earned water break here.
Could we possibly get line-out numbers a bit early because it's hard for us to get out and get in and get set.
Yeah, I'll make sure that contest is good. You just focus on your job, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
What a great year we've got ahead. The Men's Rugby World Cup over in France. There's Glenn putting you on the spot. Who's going to lift the Men's Rugby World Cup this year?
Not sure I can predict that one, but I do know the Rugby Championship's going on, so that might be a good predictor of who's going to take that. But what an amazing competition. We know that's going to be after the success of the women's last year.
So much great content created by World Rugby. You know, in 2019, it was incredible, the content that was coming out. Equally at the Women's Rugby World Cup in New Zealand. It's almost like you're there with hearing the stories.
Top of the tee here.
And up next here in Ottawa, it is the world champions, the New Zealand Black Ferns, taking on the host team, Canada. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff. That's in an hour and 22 minutes.
Yep.
Good line-out ball again. I think they may be close to perfect, the Australian line-out, and they've poached 2. And they've got a clean intercept, so the line-out work has been excellent.
Stop.
Long kick. Coming in short, meeting 2 defenders.
Stay. Thank you.
Carly Waters shipping that out wide. She's also fresh on the field, earning her 19th cap at scrum half.
Stay up, Blue. Thank you.
Deciding to kick there, it's blocked.
No, she's kicked the player in front.
He's actually rebounded back into an Australian
kicked
player,
her
so
player
it'll
in
be a
front.
scrum down to the USA.
Scrum. Accidental offside.
Well, as we start to put one thought on the MasterCard player of the match, any
I was happy with
contenders
it.
there
It's fine.
for you,
Okay,
Ghislaine?
Marcus here.
Well, I think on Australia there's been a lot of conversation within the forwards. So many of these games are won in the tight, and the forwards this week, or in this game, have done really, really well. I've been impressed off the line out. They were consistent. They put on a lot of points for this Australia team.
Well, there's the kick that went ahead. We talked about the youth policy for the USA Women Eagles, trying to build up. Two big matches coming up. In fact, the border battle, the USA under-23s against the Canada 23s, hosted by the New England Free Jacks of Major League Rugby. And a big day for men's rugby here in North America as well, as the New England Free Jacks take on the San Diego Legion in the MLR Shield final. Huge advent in North American rugby. Hosted by the Chicago Hounds, the new team this year, so I'm sure they're having some fun down there.
Crouch!
Scrum down. Just over 10 minutes to play.
Set!
Early whistle, early push from Australia. Quick tap from Carly Waters. And another is at the Sale Sharks playing the rugby in England. There's a late tackle after the pass. The referees caught it. And USA playing advantage. Deep pass. That allows Australia to advance as per their anthem. And they do it well, but they're going to come back for the original penalty.
Late tackle.
And Julianne Zussman calling for the late tackle there. There's only a fraction of a second that you can legally hit someone once the ball is gone. And USA are going to look to try and execute here.
Sorry, Mark is wrong. We got to go back here.
And she's going to move them back a little bit to where the infraction occurred.
My bad.
Sort of sums up the USA day, doesn't it? And the little bounces haven't gone their way.
Yep.
Maybe some execution in their kicking game and their tactical game, but all learning opportunities. And here is the big tackle that just wasn't quite on time. Pass 1-2. Yeah, not much in it.
As we said, it is fractions of a second, but it's at the discretion of the referee live on the field.
Now a drive from the Eagles forwards. Pops out. Well, they've won some of these midfield battles, but really no quick ball to show from it. There's a late drop into space, and it's worked. 5 meters out, going around, big left-handed fend, and a great try from the U.S. Again through the middle.
And I mentioned they'll be looking to execute off that line out, and that's exactly what they've done. And you can see it's the competition. And they came back off the line out.
Dedevo looks virtually unstoppable. That's her second try in this half. Big, powerful runner in her 17th cap for the Eagles. Well, watch, no quit here. And that left hand comes out right in the collarbone. Exactly where it should be. Extras looking to be added. The distinctive pink boots of Mackenzie Hawkins. Total concentration. Sweet strike.
Substitution number 10.
No result.
Substitution.
More subs coming on. 51 points to 17. Australia in the lead. Long kick.
Taken back. Wait.
USA kicking from deep again, and same result. Gathered midfield. This time by the substitute. Saya. So many Australian players on their feet, and they're finding the holes. Strong carry there from the skipper. Options all around. Cutting, supporting, offloading. Helping each other out. Pomeroy with her first touch. And now into space. It's Lane Morgan who can move out wide.
First arriver, she's good.
USA counter ruck, won the penalty.
Mike's over here. It's right here.
So, just this interplay, all playing with their heads up, recognizing what the defense is doing. Kick for US. 5 minutes to play. Australia resume the onslaught. Much better support. There was a hint of isolation in the first 10 minutes, but Australia's addressed that. Supported the ball carrier well, and they've recycled for many, many phases. Look at that, 102 rucks. Australia run. Nice bounce, and the ball's in space. Running forward, hat trick. Maya Stewart. The Wallaroos. Amazing team performance continues, and Maya Stewart is the benefactor with 3 tries here in Canada. Well, speculative offload, the chip over the top, and a wicked bounce here on the turf field. Just runs away from the American defenders. But just as their last try, Maya Stewart, the presence of mind, get her hands on it. Tough kick. Bella McKenzie. Nice line. Nice weight. 2 more points. 58 points to 17. So in many ways, the scoring's been a game of 2 halves. All 4 forwards scored in the first half, and then a hat trick from Stewart in the second half. Long and Friedrich.
Take it back.
One sticks up. So US, just 2 minutes to play. They try the short side. Oh, and why not go to her?
Back up.
That's Detevau. She's had 2 tries and been a very difficult force to deal with. That pass went forward.
That's the play.
Great test of these squads. A lot of
You see the mark?
subs on the field, impact players.
Aussie, let's go right away. Yeah, both loose heads. Yeah, both loose heads. Shoulder out, please.
So what a statement Australia have made here. They have Canada on Friday night, the host nation here in Ottawa. 58-point statement, and it's not over yet. USA will have to regroup as they come up against the world champion Black Ferns. That one goes down, penalty to Australia. Quick tap.
Collapse.
That scrum collapses. Good width. Ah, great skills again. Just hitting that at pace. Looking to regenerate. Now they work the short side. And try that chip again. It worked last time. Can they get a bounce? Just bounces away this time. Stewart gets a toe to it. Mercifully for the USA, it doesn't sit up, and Australia can't get their hands on it. Well, they've recognized this really well, and it's paid off for them. Fortunate for Georgina Frederick, she couldn't get her second. One of the players foreign born, born in Harare, Zimbabwe, is Fredericks. We got PNG, Samoa, New Zealand, and Zimbabwe on the Australian team. Good line again.
Not out, play on! No, you're coming from the side.
Penalty against Australia for holding on there and coming in the side. Quick tap from the US. They're not going to quit here. Some of these players have worked really hard. Good movement. Maybe a little early off the line, but effective. It's going to be a knock on. And that will do it. Julian Zusman blows the whistle. And the Australia fans celebrate. Both sets of players have worked incredibly hard here in Game 3 of the 2023 World Rugby Pacific 4 Championship. But this one in Ottawa has been all Australia. 58 points to 17 over the USA. Total respect from physical encounter in the first half. That one won by the Australian forwards and really set up the victory. And then in the second half, it was the turn of the Australian backs to take over with a try score. The U.S. responded with 2 tries from Dedebau in the second half and 1 from Aschenbrucker, but it wasn't enough.
Well done. Okay.
Great work. I have the MasterCard Player of the Match upcoming. A great program they're running, MasterCard here. They've got the Fan of the Match and Lucas Jones, a local lad who plays his rugby for the Canadian Jacks, which is a mixed ability rugby team, something that's growing.